The project is called Feed a Gene, and it deals about feeding, the genetics of the animals, and how we could feed the animals using specific feeding techniques to improve the robustness and the efficiency of these animals for livestock, for monogastric livestock production systems. And that means pigs, poultry, and rabbits. So we don't work with ruminants. The project is ongoing. It started in 2015. It was one of the first Horizon 2020 programs, and it's now in its 5th year, and it will finish by February of this year. And we will have a final meeting in January in Rennes, where we produce all the results, the outcomes, and we would like to work with stakeholders to discuss how they can pick it up for their practice. So they are invited to come to Rennes on the 22nd and 23rd of January. I think one target is the European Commission. I think the way they have set up multi-actor approaches with multidisciplinary approaches is very, very good. That's how we have to move forward. The challenge is, how do we get all these actors around the table and be involved from the start on? And perhaps my experience with it is we have worked with animal scientists, geneticists, engineers, nutritionists, and we talk different languages, but we all work on the same animal. And I'm not completely confident that we have managed to make it really a multidisciplinary approach in terms of that we have worked together. I think that it would be interesting to change the type of call that Europe sets on, based on what they call it this afternoon, a commodity, one product. So that you can not involve just animal scientists, but also societal actors, and not breeding companies or nutritional companies, but also people on the street that have an opinion about a product. So it should be on the whole chain, from the feed ingredient, from the agriculture product, the soil, the animals that are eating the product, so that you can have really a chain approach, that you can involve all the actors with their questions, their ideas about how we have to move forward. So I think we have to change a little bit the way of building these projects, making these projects. We are now living in a world where data is becoming increasingly simple to acquire, and that doesn't mean that information is easy to acquire, but the data is itself. And I think one thing is that we have to do is, how do we make use of the data? I mean, Google does it every day. They have 4 or 5 sensors in your smartphone. With that information from that 4 or 5 sensors, they can make a recommendation about a restaurant. That is something that we are going to do in the future. It's inevitable in agriculture, and we will do it in animal production. I have questions or doubts how society will accept that. They will probably accept drones for agronomy, flying over fields, making recommendations that you have to put a fertilizer there and that there. As for animals, I have the impression that society is much more reluctant to accept these technologies, because animals, they like to see a small girl picking up eggs and put it in a basket, but that's not animal production today. So I think, is society ready to accept these technologies that we use as humans, that we perhaps accept for agronomy, but do we accept it for animal production?